Hey, thanks for checking out the channel. I'm Andrew Zimmel. If you like this content, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and then sharing it with all your friends. We're trying to build a brand over here. Zimmel TV, we come back with live shows next week, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for checking us out. All right, let's get into it. Dallas Cowboy talk. Dak Prescott is under fire right now about some comments he had earlier this week when talking about the Washington Commanders and Philadelphia Eagles. Let's take you there. Let's listen in to what Dakota Prescott had to say.
From that level. I mean, I feel like we compete with the Eagles and beat them for the most part when we played them. I don't want to say check the record when they're the guys holding the trophy right now. So credit to them. They've earned it and they deserved it by all means. But yeah, very close, especially when you even watch the NFC game, the NFC Championship. And those two teams that we battle against each and every year, a couple of times. And as I said, feel confident about we've gotten the better part each and every time. To see them, to see it in such a dominating fashion, credit to them. It's our turn and it's on us. All right.
So the big thing that everybody's really hammering and really talking about here is Dak Prescott saying that the Eagles and Commanders in the NFC Championship game, that he feels like the Cowboys could be competitive and compete with those guys. And the headline has been that he is insane. Is Dak Prescott crazy for thinking that the Cowboys, the team that he quarterbacks, are close to those other two teams who just competed for a chance to go to the Super Bowl and then competed in the Super Bowl? And by the way, I learned a new text slang over the weekend. Didn't know what B2A stood for. Didn't know what it stood for. I'm in that demographic. I should know what the kids are tweeting and talking about. B2A stands for belt to ass, because that's exactly what the Eagles did to the Kansas City Chiefs. It was all Philadelphia. It was all Eagles. It was never a question who was going to win that game from opening kickoff to the very end. And he thinks that they're in the same league as that team, the team that just beat one of the, if not the greatest team that we'd seen. We love the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody thought that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to three-peat. They were the betting favorite. And yet, the Eagles got the job done, which makes you think that Dak Prescott is insane. He's crazy for thinking that his team could be in that same category. And I'm here to tell you, I don't think he is crazy. I think Dak Prescott's doing exactly what he should do as the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. That is what the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback should do. Now, full disclaimer, I have no rooting interest in the Cowboys. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not a Cowboys hater. I'm just a guy that likes good football. And I told you from day one, what we're going to do on this channel, what we're going to do on this show, is tell the truth. And I'm here to tell you the truth. In Dakota Prescott's career, in his career against the Philadelphia Eagles, he's 9-4. And if you go and look at his last 4 times playing the Eagles, he's 3-1. And you go look at those numbers, he's consistently been a good quarterback in those games. Touchdowns, interceptions, 24-8, okay, with over 3,400 yards in his games against the Eagles. And for the Washington Commanders, who I am a big fan of, I think they're going to be fine going forward, he's 11-2 against them. He's consistently won in his last 5 games against the Commanders. 4-1. Not too shabby. Throws a consistently good game against both those teams. So when he says, I feel like we're close, the games are competitive, we're a good team, he's telling the truth. The media wants this to make it out, wants to make him out to look crazy. He wants the media, or I should say the media wants him to look like some airhead, some guy who's ambivalent, who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't watch the sport, he is separated from his team. That is what they're trying to do to Dak Prescott. And I'm here to tell you, that is not the case. This is a guy who knows exactly what his team needs right now. What his team needs desperately, above everything else, is to cut out the distractions. That's the number one thing this team needs. Now, sadly, he was at a charity benefit. I think you saw in the background, it was for children with cancer. Any quote you give to the media, they're going to try to take it and run with it. And I understand that when you're starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, that is what the job is, okay? That is just point blank period. That's the facts, man. That is how it is always going to be when you're the starting quarterback for the biggest brand in the sport. But he's not lying to you. He's telling the truth. This team is a starting quarterback staying healthy away. They're a run game away. They're an offensive line away. They're figuring out what the situation with Micah Parsons is away from being a very good team. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. You have to have injury luck. You have to fix it. I understand that. But the biggest difference right now between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles is not the quarterback play. Dak Prescott's fine. Jalen Hurts, I'm going to put him in my top 5 from here on out. Winning the Super Bowl MVP, he really impressed me. Kansas City's defense isn't the greatest in the world, but Jalen Hurts deserves to be in that conversation coming off a Super Bowl MVP, at least to start the year. I have him in my top 5. Jaden Daniels, Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC, gets to the NFC Championship game, tried to do what no rookie quarterback's ever done, which is win his conference as a starting quarterback. I look at him and I say to myself, like, this is a guy who probably is in my top 10. I put Jaden Daniels in my top 10, top 15-ish, right? Dak Prescott's in that conversation behind Jaden Daniels. Is he a top 10 quarterback at this point coming off an injury? Probably not. Doesn't have the mobility. Isn't a mobile guy like some of the younger dudes in the league, the MVP Josh Allen, the runner-up Lamar Jackson. But he's still a serviceable quarterback, top half of the league quarterback? Yeah, I'd say so. Even coming off injury, I'm taking Dak Prescott over a lot of the backup quarterbacks who played this year. If they had a general manager in that building, the biggest difference isn't the quarterback play between Hurts and Daniels and Dak. The biggest difference is having a GM. Howie Roseman is the MVP of the Philadelphia Eagles. Howie Roseman is what Theo Epstein was for the Boston Red Sox and Chicago Cubs. Howie Roseman saved the city of Philadelphia's football team. Before he got there, look at some of those records. Look at some of those teams. Look at some of that management. He has fundamentally made the Eagles a team of the decade in the NFC. He is going to go down as one of the best general managers in the sport. In fact, he's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. You mark my words. Flip the coin. Look at the other side. Look at Jerry Jones, the owner and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. Consistently causes a circus. He's a carnival barker who wears a suit. He's a guy who is not going to help his team win. He wants to sell tickets. I get it. You're an owner. You want to make money. Fine. But you let the Mike McCarthy thing drag on too long. Contract or no contract. Will he stay or will he go? You let the CeeDee Lamb contract talk go too long. Will you re-sign him? Are you going to trade him? What are you going to do? You're now letting the Micah Parsons. Do you trade him? Do you keep him? Do you go for Myles Garrett? It's taking too much away from the game. It's taking too much away from the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing. When Dak Prescott says his team is close to winning, his team is close to being where the Commanders and Eagles are, he's not crazy. Dak Prescott's not crazy. He just needs some help. He needs an ownership and a GM that is going to help him win. And right now, if the Cowboys were able to go get Howie Roseman or go get an actual GM, a GM that could help them win, they'd be playing for a Super Bowl in the next 3 years. And Dak Prescott would be on that podium with the Lombardi Trophy. But with Jerry Jones at the helm, as a GM and as an owner, Dak Prescott is going to look like a clown when these comments continue to go through the offseason that he would thought that his team was close to the Eagles and Commanders. He's not wrong, but without the help of an owner and a GM, he's going to look like a fool. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe, rate, review. Put us on your notification list. Subscribe to the channel. Help us build the brand. And we will be back again with live shows, 6 Eastern, 5 Central next week. And until then, keep watching Zimmel TV.